Let's turn this baby on and I think we're good to go. Hey everybody, welcome back. So I said I would do I don't know what this video is exactly, just kind of like a impressions video, final thoughts video after finishing Octopath Traveler 2. And a little bit of backstory. Octopath Traveler 1, played the crap out of that game. I think I put almost 100 hours into it, just like I did Octopath Traveler 2. I liked it, didn't love it. It had some issues that I felt really needed fixing, which Octopath Traveler 2 does, by the way. And the first Octopath Traveler was my least favorite of the HD 2D titles. So even going into this game, I was a little trepidatious just because of my memories of the first one. I was hoping they would improve things. I didn't really know what to expect in terms of improvements. I knew what to expect in terms of what the game would be like for sure. It was very much going to be Octopath Traveler 1 all over again in a lot of ways. But as soon as I started the game, I could feel the improvements immediately. They're very apparent. So the issues I had with the first Octopath Traveler was the lack of a cohesive overarching narrative. I think that was probably everyone's biggest complaint. And the fact that the characters don't kind of come together and the narrative doesn't coalesce in a big way. That was one of my big takeaways from it. I remember enjoying the individual little stories and stuff like that for some of the characters. But it was one of those RPGs. I played it, I kind of liked it, and then I forgot about it by and large. So I was really curious to see what would happen this time. And Octopath Traveler 2 does what every sequel to a good game should do. It leaves alone everything that works and everything that needs, it leaves alone everything that works, or the things that worked, it improves them in little ways. And the things that don't work, they fixed. I wish so many more sequels would do that. I know a lot of sequels try and do that and just end up going a wickedly awful direction, or they're constantly reinventing the wheel. Like Final Fantasy, they're always doing something new nowadays anyway, not like back in the day. And that is what it is. But Octopath Traveler 2, I'm happy with the direction they took, and everything's better. So combat is better. It's definitely more flashy. You can tell they put way more of a budget into it. Everything is just visually more pleasing in battle. It seemed like everything's been streamlined a little bit too. I can't even remember the first game that much when it came to the battle system, but I just feel like I enjoyed the battle system in the second game way more. And the jobs are back. I could have used maybe a couple of more jobs in the game. There might be an argument there that could have ruined the game's balance, but honestly speaking, with the high encounter rate in the game, I know there's abilities that can negate that. But if you just want to do everything and do everyone's story and doing the side stuff, like every RPG, you're going to be wickedly overleveled. So the challenge is going to go away very quickly in Octopath Traveler 2 if you're doing everything. So I think more jobs wouldn't necessarily hurt the game. I think it would just maybe add a little bit more variety instead of just having the main jobs and a handful of secret jobs. So combat was good. I think they did a really good job. It's turn-based once again. If you don't like turn-based combat, just walk away. Don't even touch this game because I don't think it's going to be for you. But if you like turn-based combat, holy crap, you absolutely got to play this. And then visuals and combat were improved, as I said. And then just everything else was improved out in the environments, in the cities. Everything's got more depth. There's more assets with everything now. The game looked amazing. And I remember liking the music for Octopath Traveler 1 because I will still listen to like some of the battle tracks and stuff like that even today. But Octopath Traveler 2 1-ups the first game in terms of soundtrack. The soundtrack's incredible. And actually this is so funny because there's overarching story elements in Octopath Traveler for most of the chapters. But there's two kind of lighter characters that don't tie into the overarching narrative as much. Agnia and Pertitio. I believe that's how I can say it correctly. I played with the Japanese dub, so don't judge me, or the Japanese VA, so don't judge me too much for mispronouncing because I'm going off of everything I heard in that version of my playthrough. But their themes were so, not only in their story, but in terms of their music, were so uplifting and bright. When their themes would kick in, I would just be getting like goosebumps on my arms, and I'd just be sitting there listening to them, imagining going on my own journey. So the music they did really, really well in the second game. For virtually everything, town themes, battle themes, it's all good. But back to the kind of like the overarching narrative, which was a big issue in the first game, that's gone. They fixed it. They tied everyone's stories together in a meaningful and cohesive way. And in everyone's chapters, you would have sometimes characters from other stories' journey or other characters' journeys coming into other characters' chapters. So you're getting shared characters, shared story elements, like hints of something bigger going on that's going to involve all of the characters. It's exactly what I wanted from this game. And it all comes together at the very end too in a really cool way. So that was my biggest complaint going into this game, and they fixed it right away. And it's readily apparent almost right from the get-go that everything's going to be tying together. And it's nice getting those breadcrumbs and those little hints as you're making your way through all these chapters. Not everything feels so disconnected. It actually reminds me, now that I think about it, a little bit of kind of like pre-endgame MCU. Yes, you wouldn't have all these characters meeting necessarily, but you're getting like similar story elements, maybe some side characters coming in, usually after the end credits or whatever. But that's very much what it felt like. You're just getting little nods, and it's building the anticipation towards getting at something greater at the end. And the payoff's there, which the first game didn't have. So if that's your biggest complaint, then definitely go for it, because it's really improved things story-wise. And even lore-wise, they seem to really care about building Octopath Traveler 2's world a bit more, whether it's just through the story elements or just finding books and hidden items and stuff like that to give descriptions of the world. That was really appreciated. And then for the game design, that was improved as well, because obviously we have the path actions for every character. Some characters can duel characters and learn abilities, knock characters out, steal from characters, buy items from characters, NPCs. But now that we have a day and night cycle and every character gets 2 path actions, obviously differing for day and night cycle, you have everything you need now. You're not missing out on some of the unique path actions now because you're not using a specific character. Yes, they all kind of work in a different way, but it lets you, it arrives at the same result, pretty much. So that's great. That was such a brilliant addition on their part. And not only do we have the day and night cycle where enemies change, but obviously NPCs' positions change and their dialogue and some of the items you can carry and stuff like that. So it's definitely worth investigating a town twice over for night and day. So they really did everything better. And it shows. I'm sad the game doesn't seem to have sold very well from everything I've read anyway. But hopefully it'll have some good legs on it. It'll have like good word of mouth. And people will kind of buy it over a longer period of time, because I definitely want the HD 2D games to keep going, which I'm sure they will. So no, gameplay, everything was improved, made more fun, streamlined. Story was better, lore was better, music was a step above, visuals were greater. It does what my favorite game of all time does, Suikoden 2 does to the first game. It just takes everything and makes it better. That's all this game did, and it's all it needed to do, because there were already some good bones in the first Octopath Traveler. I maybe had a hard time seeing it because it left me unsatisfied in some ways, but oh man, 2 shows me that 1 had some really good bones to it. And it makes me excited for the inevitable Octopath Traveler 3, which I'm sure there will be, even though the sales right now aren't the greatest. But no, I think that's about it, everybody. Definitely check out this game. Had a blast with it. Even with the battle system, even though it's turn-based and I was overpowered, I didn't get really bored of the game. I still found it fun, and there was the fast forward feature in Battle 2, so you could, speed things up a little bit without losing the visual flair. So no, I thoroughly enjoyed this game, even though it didn't have the challenge to it like maybe Triangle Strategy did, but a balanced gameplay challenge was what that game was all about, whereas Octopath Traveler 2, not so much. But all in all, definitely check it out. It's a great RPG from Square Enix. I hope they keep making more games like this, and definitely support it so we can get more titles, okay? Anyway, thanks for joining me, everybody. See you soon.